Woke Supremacy
Alert.
News.
Donald Trump has just filed his opposition to the motion for partial stay filed by the Department of Justice in connection with the search warrant executed at Mar-a-Lago, and more specifically, the order by Judge Eileen Cannon, which issued a temporary injunction stopping the government from reviewing the records that they obtained in connection with the valid and lawful search warrant on August 8th, and also appointed a special master. Now, the government filed last Thursday, the Department of Justice did a motion for partial stay as it relates to Judge Eileen Cannon's order and filed a notice of appeal to the 11th Circuit. The motion for partial stay asked Judge Eileen Cannon to stay her order or to stop her order as it relates to the 100 classified records that were obtained in connection with the search warrant on August 8th. The other matters, they said, can go to the special master, or we'll deal with that on our notice of appeal. And the appeal we ultimately file to the 11th Circuit. There were thousands of other government records which Donald Trump stole, which did not belong to him and which could not be kept at Mar-a-Lago. But for purposes of our national security interest, and for purposes of the criminal investigation that's taking place into Donald Trump's violation of the Espionage Act, obstruction and concealment and mutilation of records. By the way, none of those require classification status one way or another. But let's focus, Judge, on these 100 classified records, because there could be no circumstance under which classified records can be just stolen by former presidents. None of the other documents can either, but classified records, there's this urgent interest, and we will suffer irreparable harm. And so, as I mentioned on the prior breaking news alert, when the Department of Justice filed that motion for partial stay, now the ball was in Donald Trump's court to claim that what was he going to claim regarding those 100 classified records, which is why I said it was a brilliant move by the Department of Justice to focus on that. Judge Eileen Cannon, after the Department of Justice's filing last week, gave Donald Trump until September 12th to file his opposition to the motion for partial stay requested by the Department of Justice, where he was supposed to say, did he own those records? Were these records declassified? Again, even though classification isn't an issue for the ultimate criminal prosecution, what was Donald Trump's position with these 100 classified records, which the Department of Justice said it will cause irreparable harm to our national security, and we need for our national security interests? Well, Donald Trump filed that opposition today, and frankly, it did not provide any clarity at all whatsoever. The opposition for motion for partial stay of the order for the special master and the injunction as it relates to those 100 classified records, what Donald Trump's response basically was through his lawyers was, we don't know whether or not those documents are classified or not. I'm not going to tell you if they're classified, but they may not be classified. Donald Trump argued that he had the power to declassify any of the records that he wanted to disclassify. With a magic wand, he could declassify anything when he was the president. But he does not assert in this opposition that he declassified any of these records at all. He simply says that don't believe the government, don't believe the Department of Justice. In essence, the Department of Justice is the executive branch right now. So don't believe the actual classifying authority that these documents are classified. Don't believe the markings on the document which say classified. Don't believe any of that. Just believe us that they may not be classified, is the argument that Donald Trump made. Here, look, I will read for you the argument, but that's what the summary of it is. This is from the filing today. The government claims this court cannot enjoin use of the documents the government has determined are classified. Therefore, the argument goes, as President Trump has no right to have the documents returned to him because the government has unilaterally determined they are classified, the government should be permitted to continue to use them in conjunction with the intelligence communities to build a criminal case against him. This is what then they say. However, there still remains a disagreement as to the classification status of the documents. The government's position therefore assumes a fact not yet established. And so there's no assertion, though, there that these documents are not classified or that these documents are personal. And one of the other things that Donald Trump's brief makes today in opposing the motion for partial stay is he talks about the Presidential Records Act and says that there could be documents that are presidential or that they could be personal records. And he goes, well, some of these records may actually be personal records. I mean, implying that the classified documents belonging to the government that are not even his own, that can't possibly be his own records, that they may be personal records, but not actually saying that they are personal records. Again, not saying that he declassified these records, just saying they may be. They may be. That's why they should go in front of a special master and let the special master just decide. I'm not going to tell you that I declassified him. I mean, it's just a bizarre and weird dance that they're doing to obstruct and delay, where they could simply say, he had the documents. Here's why I had these documents. Here's how I was utilizing these documents. Here is when I declassified these documents, or here's the classification status of the documents. Here are why documents are personal or presidential, or here's why I had top secret, sensitive, compartmented information, other than basically just saying they may be, they may not be. Let's let the special master decide. Let's let some other party, some neutral, it's supposed to be a neutral party, but let's let them decide for the executive branch, for the people who determine our national security interests, the executive branch, which the right wing has always talked about, the unitary executive. Let's let a special master decide. Once I stole these records, well, were they classified? Were they not classified? I'm not even going to tell you. Let's just do it as like a riddle. I mean, and that's essentially what Donald Trump's arguing. And again, doesn't even say why he has these records at Mar-a-Lago, because obviously they were there for nefarious purposes to begin with. And one of the things that it's just framed as, right from the outset on the very first page, Trump's lawyers say this was just a storage issue. This is all about storage. There's no emergency here. If there was an emergency here, why did they wait until August 8th? Almost blaming the Department of Justice, gaslighting, right, for the fact that the Department of Justice through NARA tried to get these records back for over 2 years. And they were lied to by Trump, who filed false declarations through his lawyers saying that the documents were returned. And so blaming the Department of Justice for waiting until August to say, that's why, look, there's no irreparable harm. The fact that I lied to the Department of Justice and strung this out should be to my advantage to show there's no irreparable harm. And it's worth reflecting there that that's Donald Trump's strategy and everything, which is to basically delay, and then after he's finally caught, to then blame the government or to blame the party that wants to hold him accountable for the delays that Trump actually created. And then they repeat the false line again in this opposition for the motion to partial stay, that there is no criminal conduct at all involved here when it comes to these records, and that the Presidential Records Act has no criminal penalty to it. This is not just a Presidential Records Act case. This is a case of you stealing government records, and the laws and the crimes are very clear. They couldn't be clearer. This is not some complicated area of law. Even Bill Barr has basically said it was a crime, because no one disagrees with this other than you, who say that, oh, the Presidential Records Act just involves a process and procedure and is an administrative remedy. Well, first off, you didn't avail yourself and follow the Presidential Records Act, where you would provide a statement of what documents are presidential and what are personal and listed and provided. So you didn't even go through the Presidential Records Act process that every president goes through. When they have presidential libraries, they go through a process, but those documents are like documents for like their book could be personal, and documents that were created by them in connection with their duties as the president may go to their library, and that's all done in very close coordination with the National Archives. Nobody is stealing top secret, sensitive, compartmented information and potentially nuclear secrets of foreign countries and hiding them and hoarding them in their homes and resorts and concealing them and destroying them and using them for nefarious purposes. There's no one who does that. That is a crime. That is called the Espionage Act. That is obstruction, when you prevent the government from investigating violations of the Espionage Act. And that is concealment and mutilation. Those are all crimes. And so them constantly repeating and gaslighting that there's no criminal conduct here is just false. and a total misstatement of the law. And so, to basically just recap, the breaking news alert is that Trump filed his opposition for motion to partial stay. Recall last week, the Department of Justice asked the judge Eileen Cannon, she's the Trump appointed judge who he appointed in 2020, who's the judge who he filed this motion for judicial oversight. She granted the special master request and she granted the injunction request. And the government responded, look, we totally disagree with your order, Judge Eileen Cannon, but the special master and the injunction should not apply to 100 classified records. Those clearly belong to us, and we will be irreparably harmed, and the national security of our country would be irreparably harmed if we don't have access to our own executive records. We're the executive branch. We need our own documents, and he can't claim that he owns them. So Donald Trump had to respond, and his claim wasn't, I own them, these records are mine. His response was, they may be mine. They may be personal. I don't know. I'm not making that claim here. He's not, because he can't make the claim because that would be admitting to the crime and it would be a lie. But his point was, let's just have a special master. Let's let other people make that decision because we can't decide. We can't trust the actual classifying authority, the government, who's the one telling you that it's classified, or the documents would say classified. Let's just delay this and have a special master look at it. It's the best summary of Donald Trump's opposition for a motion for partial stay. We will keep you updated, and for special master appointment, we will keep you updated on more information here on the Miedas Touch Network. If you want to support independent media, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Join the Miedas Touch movement by hitting the subscribe button right now. Also, if you want to support the Miedas Touch Network, we have lots of people from overseas and here in the United States say, how can we help you? How can we support this grow? We don't watch mainstream media anymore. Here's how you could actually get involved directly. Go over to patreon.com/MeidasTouch. That's patreon.com/MeidasTouch, spelled MEIDAS. TOUCH, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. There's different membership levels and different membership tiers, but there's exclusive content. There's ways for you to become a producer of the Miedas Touch podcast. You can get postcards from me and my brothers, who are the founders of the Miedas Touch Network, and a lot of other exclusive benefits there. And you'll be supporting independent media, supporting our research, supporting a lot of the work that goes into these videos, and we would appreciate that. But either way, just hit the subscribe button, and you can check out store.MeidasTouch.com, store.MeidasTouch.com for some of the best unapologetically pro-democracy